Hey, you're tuning in to Toasted Time, where I cook your time with some Reddit stories. Right now, you're being toasted with some r/relationship advice, where a husband is desperately trying to vie for a better divorce agreement. Our first story is by Database Virtual. We separated 2 years ago. My son and I moved back to my home state and with my parents, and we were constantly fighting before I left, and it got really bad. So he told me he wanted a divorce. I was very hurt emotionally when I left and had a lot of mental health issues because of everything he put me through. I accept that I am also at fault for our problems. As I was healing, he reached out to me and wanted to get back together. At first, I refused, but I eventually gave him a chance. During this time, he found out that I reported him for not providing financial support. He is military and obligated to provide for his family since we were still married, so he was forced to send me a set amount each month. He was soon to be deployed, and I wanted to make sure that he helped me with our son before he left. He was hurt, so I eventually filed for divorce and sent him the paperwork for him to sign while he was deployed. He was the one in a hurry to divorce. I told him I would wait till he returned. He never signed it, and we began talking again and healing together. The case was dropped due to no progression. He returned a year ago, and we've still been separated. He is selling the house and moving back here closer to my son and I next month. We've grown so much and have gone to a really good place, but we still have occasional fights. I have trust issues and become paranoid about many things, so this also causes fights. Because of this, he suggests that we divorce, but we stay together and keep trying. He says that marriage is only a legal obligation and it shouldn't matter. He prefers to do it before it gets any worse between us, as he wants to protect himself financially because he doesn't want me going after any new houses he buys. He also wants to make sure he gets time with our son and that it'll be legally written down. I was originally fighting for full physical custody and possible supervised visitation because he was an alcoholic and never watched him. I've seen him get better and agree that he has every right to have his time with his son. I also understand that a boy needs his father. He claims this is for me because it will show me that he truly loves me and cares for me, and that this will help me see that he'll always be here for me even though there's no legal obligation, like giving me more assurance. He thinks that it'll be better for us and we could also live our lives separately but still be together. I don't agree with this and told him that if we divorce, he is going to lose me because I will not keep trying. He says that he'll keep trying anyways. I'll always care for him, but I'd prefer to co-parent and move on and be single instead. I see this only causing more issues for me and can't help but think he has been manipulating me into getting a better outcome in divorce. Does anyone agree with him and could give me more perspective to this? I feel like I deserve better. He still calls me and like there's nothing changing and tells me he misses me and checks on me, which is very confusing for me. Alright, holy cow, there is so much wrong in this whole entire thing. There is so wrong. Like, I mean, I agree with you don't have to have a legal obligation with being married, but why you can't divorce then? You shouldn't have gotten married legally if that wasn't the original plan, because now you're getting divorced, which means that you're no longer married. So you can't say that it is marriage without a legal obligation because you divorced. So there is no marriage, you divorced, period, end of statement. And this is just a guess, but he wants to separate, but not get any of the legal stuff into the whole entire thing because he wants to just sleep around with other women other than you. Maybe I'm wrong on that. In which case, I would say just get into an open marriage, which even though my opinion is that it doesn't work, period, end of statement, to have an open marriage, because that just defines all definition or breaks all definition of a marriage. But at that rate, you should just ask for that instead of a divorce, because this is so convoluted. It is so convoluted. But yeah, no, he is absolutely trying to manipulate you into trying to get a better situation in a divorce. He's absolutely doing that. Which I don't necessarily blame him for in this day and age of divorce court for men, but he's absolutely trying to manipulate you into trying to get a better edge on this whole entire situation. So, yeah. And I mean, the evidence is in the actions in and of themselves. He was once an alcoholic who never paid attention to his son. And now, after you brought to attention that you want to divorce him, he is all of a sudden no longer drinking and also spending time with your son. So he is absolutely trying to get a better edge on this whole entire thing. So he is trying to clean sweep this whole entire thing. Which, I mean, can't say that's necessarily wrong, but at the same time, he's very underhanded, very underhanded. I mean, to go back to the whole entire point of they should just open the marriage, let's not even deal with that part. This dude is not even acting like it is a marriage. You're supposed to be through thick and thin, and yet here you are, you guys are having constant arguments, and you're just like, alright, let's divorce then. Which, I mean, your opinion be your opinion on that, which I can't say that's necessarily wrong or right. I don't know what you guys are fighting about, but he is trying to talk about it being a marriage, even though, one, you're divorcing, so it wouldn't be a marriage, period. And two, if you're to open the marriage so that you could have other partners, which is what I suspect he wants to do, I could be wrong on that completely. I suggest I am wrong on that, but it is just a guess. Which that would also just not work. And the other thing is that you are not owning up to your vows. You're not. So this whole entire thing is just terrible, And yeah, I could not agree anymore. You absolutely deserve better than this. You absolutely do. You should divorce him, in my opinion. So it's so weird, but yeah, I mean, I can't fault him for trying to edge out on this whole entire thing because the legal battle, it doesn't really go well for men in the court, but still, it is underhanded in my opinion. Anywho, continuing on. And the final story today comes from Throwaway Help with Girlfriend. So, I accidentally punched my girlfriend in the side about 3 or 4 days ago, but she's still not talking to me. And I want to fix this since it was an accident, but I don't know how to get her to talk to me. And just for some background on our relationship, me and my girlfriend have been together for about 8 months now, and I really, really like her. She is sweet, pretty, funny, a total nerd like me, and she likes Dark Souls, my dream girl. She's also a little bit older, which I am into. She's kind of weird also, but in the fun, quirky way, she's an amazing partner and a very supportive of the stupid things I do and like. I say this so no one gets the wrong idea about her. And so here's the start. My girlfriend likes to experiment a lot and has a super open mind. She's always telling me about something mid to super weird or underground that I've never heard of that she wants to try. It can be anything, food, positions, hobbies, clothing, or whatever. Around last week, she mentioned some bedroom things involving a more dominatrix vibe. I was cool with this part, but then she brought up the specifics of what she wanted to try. She wanted to try pegging, and I didn't. She had been watching the videos and doing her research trying to convince me, but I just wasn't on board with it. Usually, I try everything else with a little to no hesitation, but I'm just not with this one. She was pretty sad about it and sort of sulked for a while, but I wasn't changing my mind. And every time after the first no, I wasn't exactly firm since I love my girlfriend and I didn't want her to be sad. I made it obvious I was uncomfortable with it and didn't want to try it, but whenever she brought it up, I just kind of awkwardly said, I don't know, babe, and quickly changed the subject. Usually this worked and she'd have dropped the subject, and I thought she got the message. I don't know, I should have been more obvious in hindsight. It is my fault for not putting my foot down and setting her down and telling her that I was serious, but I think I might have given her mixed signals when I just changed the subject and awkwardly disagreed. Well, anyways, a few days ago she tried it. She dressed up pretty and I was excited. She was starting her whole dommy mommy thing and I was getting really into it. Maybe this is why she thought I would be okay with it. And she was on top of me, put her finger near my A, and honestly, I didn't notice at first because we were kissing and she was being really hot. You know how it is. But then she put her finger in and I automatically felt that and I punched her without thinking. I punched her in the side and she pulled it out, which hurt like fridge, and I pushed her off of me rough. She fell back onto the edge of the bed, I think, which was good because I wasn't trying to hurt her in the first place, it was just reflex. And she started crying and screamed at me asking, "What the fridge?" I didn't know what to do. She was yelling at me while I was trying to apologize, but it wasn't working and she got dressed and left. I called and texted a lot, but she just wouldn't answer me back. I'm scared to lose her. She's amazing and I feel really bad for punching her. It's been a few days, like I said, and I don't know what to do. She's been staying with her friend. How can I fix this? I didn't mean to punch her. It was just reflex. Now, before I read the edit down below, I want to just talk from my point. Because I want to just maybe open a floodgate here, possibly. Floodgate? What am I trying to say? Obviously, consent is important. Obviously, no shit. No crap. No one is debating that topic. But you're with a girl who is super open-minded, and everything else so far you have tried, but then you get to this one and you don't say no confidently. Which, I mean, there's no problem with that. Obviously, you're uncomfortable with it. That's obvious, and I don't blame you for that at all. The only thing is, like, if you're leading with something like, haha, I don't know, babe, if you're super into something, I can understand how something like that might come off as trying to be coy. Does that make sense? So I can't, no, I don't think I want to put my foot in my mouth with that one. I would say I can't totally blame her for thinking that it might have been coy, unless she was just gonna do it, not gonna care if you said no confidently, in which case, yeah, absolutely, she is just wrong, period. She is absolutely wrong. But I understand how that could come off as being coy, maybe. Granted, I don't know how you were actually acting. Maybe you were just awkward as crap after saying that, in which case that could honestly, like, if she's being dommy mommy stuff, you being coy might just be like that whole entire simping crap that she might have inferred. Once again, I could be completely wrong on this. I absolutely could. I don't doubt it. But I can understand how you saying, haha, I don't know, babe, could absolutely come off as being coy. And if you're not saying no confidently, then, and she's talking about dommy mommy type stuff, I can absolutely understand how she could be seeing this as you just being that shy ooh-woo girl type thing, but like for a dommy mommy type thing. She might be thinking you're really into it, which from the sounds of it you were, aside from the pegging, of course. But I think it's just terrible coincidence that this whole entire coincidence. No, it's just terrible that this whole entire thing happened in the first place. Which, once again, she is in the wrong because you didn't give a clear yes. There was no consent to do it. So she's absolutely in the wrong with that. The only thing is, I can understand how she might have taken that as you being coy, if that makes sense. What are your thoughts down in the comments? Please let me know what you're thinking on that, because in my opinion, I mean, the punch is a weird reflex in my opinion, but I can understand that. The punch happening, I understand that you asked her not to do it and she still did it, so there was no consent, so therefore it was wrong. But at the next point, I can understand how she might have seen you saying, haha, I don't know, babe, as being coy. Like, yeah, just coy. I can understand how she might have seen it as being that. going along with how you didn't say no confidently or sit her down and be like, hey, I don't want to do this. I can understand how you saying what you said as being coy. And you, once again, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments on this. Well, that is about it for those stories today, but if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe to become a fellow breadbag. But aside from that, I post 2 new videos every day, so I hope to see you in the next time toasting session. But until then, have a good one.